Which fictional character never fails to piss you off? Those damn kids always spoiling it for the tricked rabbit. Percy Wetmore, that sniveling, sadistic bitch of a prison guard who didn't wet the sponge during the execution in the Green Mile. The guy who played him turned into quite a freak show in real life too. Greg Heffalai, you only realize what an asshole he is when you become older. The books make me feel so bad for Owly. He's just some poor kid who wants to be a good friend and Greg just abuses his loyalty and kindness to get whatever he wants. Read the book that Rowley made. Olivia Colman's character in Fleabag. She didn't even have to finish her first sentence in a scene and I'd already be pissed off. The absolute worst. To me it is more of a tie between Martin and her. God, it felt good when she punched Martin. I wonder if it ever crossed her mind a scene where she would punch the Olivia Colman character. Oh, I hated Martin way more than Stepmother. That Trunchbull lady from Matilda. Oh, but Pam Ferris was so good in that role. She was also Aunt Marge in Harry Potter. Another pretty awful character. Never realized she played Aunt Marge. Strangely enough, Ralph Fiennes, Voldemort, is going to be playing Miss Trunchbull in the upcoming Netflix remake. Mr. Poe from Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. He's not exactly the villain, but God is he useless. Him and the other adults who don't believe the Baudelaire children for some stupid reasons. Theory: the adults did know the children were telling the truth after a while, but realized that everyone who acknowledged it had died, so instead they pretended to be complete idiots, or they were just complete idiots. K-Win from Deep Space Nine. That role is acted and written so perfectly. It's the same actress who played Nurse Ratched in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Louise Fletcher, who was also great in that role. Umbridge before Harry Potter came out. Win is the embodiment of lawful evil and personal ambition wrapped in a package that is supposed to be // good beyond all measure. Interesting literary parallels between Win and some historic Catholic popes though. She is literally a space pope. Lester on GTA V. If he calls me about the casino heist one more time, I'm punching him in the dick edit. And you know what? I ducking hate Bryony and her dumb arena shit'll do arena. When I duck I want to. Okay, hear me out. Yes, getting the calls is annoying, but that's a Rockstar feature, not a bug. Of all the contacts in GTA 5, who is the most annoying? Simeon always talks down to you and guilts you into bitch work. Franklin's friend Lama, who never did anything wrong and constantly puts you down. Brucey, who is Brucey. The list goes on. Lester is at least a straight shooter who brings you quality work and is genuine in his relationships. Maybe all he wants is for you to call him besides when you need something from him. Yeah, no. Lester just wants a pal. Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights. I don't understand how anyone can describe him as an anti-hero after he imprisons a 17-year-old girl in his house and forces her to marry a dying man just so that he can steal her rightful inheritance because of a childhood feud. What an utter bastard. That blonde chick from A Silent Voice. She was so fake. The MC was trying to be a better person, but as soon as she was about to be implicated in the bullying of the deaf girl, she made a scene in front of the whole class, who were not involved in the issue at all. The bullying had happened years ago, and nearly threw the MC under the bus, again, and nearly turned the whole class and their new friend group against him to save her safe. I was so angry when she was still counted as a member of their friend group in the end, because that kind of snake behavior don't stop unless it's called out and punished. And she acted so innocent too. Shake my head. Every adult in Matilda edit except for Miss Honey, the teacher, edit 2. Thank you to everyone for upvoting. This is my first big comment and I wrote it because I was bored while camping. Come back and 9k upvotes, so thank you everyone. Grimmer Wormtunge, LOTR. What a creep. Also Octavian from Percy Jackson. And half the men Shakespeare wrote. Especially that guy from Tatema Shrew. Edit. Wow. I'm new to Reddit, so I don't think I have ever gotten so many upvotes. Bella Swan. She's got the wit and personality of wet cardboard, yet everybody bends over backwards to protect her stupid ass. Brew, the paper cut scene in the second movie pissed me off. No one bleeds like that. C's is always ducking bleeding. Tie between D. W. From Arthur and Megan from Drake and Josh. The whole blatantly awful younger sibling who terrorizes the protagonist and always gets away with it was a strange trope that has thankfully died. Peppa Pig. Entitled Little Shit. I won't let my kids watch it. I'm loving how many people feel so strongly about this little animated pig. She ducking sucks. Dude. It's the show for little kids where the main character acts like a dick and never faces any kind of punishment. Plus her face looks like a cock and balls. It's not a specific character. It's more of a trope. I always get pissed off whenever I see the loser character. Examples would be Ernie from George Lopez, Meg from Family Guy, Klaus from American Dad, Toby from The Office, etc. These type of characters often get treated like shit and most of the time they don't deserve it. Unlike a character like Squidward, who is a loser, but acts like he's God's gift to the world. None of these characters are arrogant, narcissistic, or even egotistical. I feel that they are treated the way they are because of sadistic writers enjoy torturing characters in the shows they work for. Bella from Twilight. This cunt moved to a town where everyone wanted to be her friend and be nice to her, and she blew everyone off for a sparkly MF and his cringe family. I loved that movie when I was younger, but if you look at it from someone else's perspective, yeah, I'd understand why she had no friends before. Rapunzel's mom entangled. That hag ass, bitch ass, manipulative ass, gaslighting ass cunt deserved to be thrown out of the tower. If it makes you feel any better, she probably had the most brutal Disney death, rapidly aging and experiencing body fluctuations as a result in such a short period of time that she was dust before she hit the ground is pretty brutal. Definitely agonizing. Deserved it all the way though. Jerry from Tom and Jerry. Some of you may not know this, but over the course of the series, you can slowly see that little mouse ducker drive Tom insane, even to the point of suicide. He plays the ducking victim all the time. The worst part is, rarely anyone takes Tom's side. No one in the cartoon is able to see that Jerry is a ducking snake. Frank Gallagher. Honestly, I loved Shameless, but William Massey as Frank was just so perfectly cast and acted. I had to stop. He made me physically disgusted. He has his moments where you think, man, maybe he can pull it together and not be an absolute shitstin of a person. There's a scene in one of the later seasons where he and his kids have to confront Monica's drug dealer, and holy shit, I was actively cheering for Frank and audibly said duck yeah Frank by the time the whole thing was done. Then he pissed it away the next episode and got kicked out by his kids again for something stupid that he did. Lol. He's such a great character. Minita from MHA. I hate when people justify his actions by saying he's horny like ever why a normal teenager. As a teenage boy myself, I can tell you that no normal teen is nearly as horny as Minita. He's just so ducking creepy. The worst part is that the teachers don't discipline him for his actions. Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby. Winnie judgmental man who does nothing to change or alter anything he disagrees with. He has no backbone and is arguably worse than the other elitist snobs because he doesn't just partake in all of their awful actions quite willingly, but judges them and holds himself on some sort of moral pedestal as if he is without fault or sin. I hate major hypocrisy. Those unwilling to change things they aren't happy with, and those unwilling to fight for what they believe in. Screw you, Nick Carraway. Grandpa Joe lays in bed for 20 years while the family eats watered down cabbage soup and bitches about the floor being cold. Lol, and behold, a winning ticket comes along and has up and about like it's nothing. What an utter piece of crap. Carly from The In-Betweeners. She led poor Simon on for like a decade, and also Julie from Friday Night Lights, but to a lesser degree. Oh, and Kate from This Is Us, which is weird cause I used to love her at the start of the show, but then, ugh. I really started to hate BoJack Horseman after the last season's revelation. Spoilers ahead. So back in season 3, Sarah Allen, a girl who BoJack has known her whole life, dies from a heroin overdose. It's a very sad moment in the show. To the viewer it looks as though Bojack realized she overdosed and then called emergency services. Bojack then has a ton of guilt throughout the rest of the series. In the final season we're given a more behind the scenes look at what happened there. Bojack realized she overdosed and then called himself from her phone and went outside and waited almost 20 minutes before calling emergency services so he could tell them that she called him, and he came running so he wouldn't get in trouble with the police. The doctors explain also that Sarah Allen died in hospital, so if the ambulance had arrived on time then they might have been able to save her. Even though Bojack said to an interviewer that he loved Sarah Allen, he still wasn't willing to face the consequences for providing her with heroin and allowing her to die from an overdose. I should also point out that at this point in the show Sarah Allen had been clean from drugs for maybe a year now. Dr. Sheldon Cooper, selfish, arrogant, narcissistic prick who almost never gets his comeuppance. I used to love TBBT, but his arrogant shit and the fact that he always seems to get away with it is the main reason I stopped watching it. Duck him. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.